Welcome, little one. I wonder where you are, nestled in your bed, listening to the waves of my voice wash over you. Perhaps you're tucked under a patchwork quilt, the scent of lavender lulling you towards slumber. Or maybe you're snuggled amongst fluffy pillows, the moon painting silver streaks across your ceiling. Wherever you are, let the story begin. The salty tang of the sea air still clung to Captain Pegleg's coat, even after days spent ashore. He stood at the edge of the cobbled quay, the familiar cries of gulls a comforting symphony after months at sea. His wooden leg, polished to a deep, rich brown, tapped a steady rhythm against the stones, a counterpoint to the gentle lapping of the waves against the hulls of the fishing boats. He hadn't felt the solid ground beneath his feet for so long. The endless expanse of the ocean had become both his home and his prison. He'd returned with tales to tell, of shimmering coral reefs teeming with life, of storms that threatened to swallow his ship whole, and of mermaids with voices like the sweetest chimes. But more importantly, he carried a secret, a treasure more precious than any gold doubloon, a small, intricately carved wooden bird, its wings outstretched as if ready to take flight. This bird, he knew, held the key to his daughter, Lily's, happiness. Lily, with her hair the color of spun sunshine and eyes like the summer sky, had been only a babe when he'd last seen her. Now, he imagined, she was a young woman, her laughter echoing through the familiar streets of their seaside village. The thought warmed him, chasing away the lingering chill of the ocean winds. He walked slowly, his gaze lingering on each familiar building, each friendly face. The bakery with its tantalizing aroma of freshly baked bread, the fishmonger's stall, overflowing with the day's catch, and the little flower shop, a riot of color against the gray stone houses. Each sight was a comfort, a piece of the life he'd longed for during his long voyage. He finally reached his cottage, a small, whitewashed dwelling nestled amongst a cluster of similar houses. Smoke curled lazily from its chimney, a promise of warmth and a home-cooked meal. His heart pounded in his chest, a mixture of excitement and apprehension. Would Lily recognize him? Would she welcome him back after all these years? He pushed open the creaky wooden door, the hinges groaning a protest against their long slumber. The air inside was thick with the comforting scent of wood smoke and something sweet, perhaps apple pie. He called out, his voice hoarse from disuse. "Lily? My Lily!" Silence. Then, a soft, hesitant sound. A small, almost inaudible gasp. He heard the quick patter of footsteps, and then, she was there. A young woman, her hair indeed the color of sunshine, her eyes wide with a mixture of disbelief and was it hope? She stood frozen in the doorway, her hand clutching a small, intricately carved wooden bird, identical to the one he held in his own. The silence stretched, heavy with unspoken words, years of absence and longing. He could see the resemblance. Her eyes, her smile, everything about her spoke of his wife, his beloved Amelia, lost to the sea years ago. He opened his mouth to speak, but the words caught in his throat. This was not the reunion he had imagined, not the joyful embrace he had yearned for. This was a meeting of strangers, separated by years, yet bound by a shared, silent understanding. The small wooden bird, a symbol of their shared past, lay heavy in his hand. He knew then that his journey was far from over. He had returned, yes, but the true voyage, the one of reconnecting with his daughter and unraveling the mysteries surrounding the wooden bird, had only just begun. The aroma of the apple pie filled the air, a sweet yet poignant reminder of the long road ahead. He took a deep breath, steeling himself for the challenges that lay before him, for the untold stories that the little wooden bird held within its silent embrace. The journey home, he realized, was only just beginning. The silence stretched, thick and heavy as sea fog. The scent of apple pie, warm and comforting, did little to ease the tension that hung between father and daughter. Lily, her eyes still wide with a mixture of surprise and apprehension, finally spoke, her voice a soft whisper barely audible above the gentle ticking of a grandfather clock in the corner. "Papa?" she breathed, the word tentative, hesitant, like a fragile seashell clinging to the shore. Captain Pegleg, his throat still tight with unshed emotion, nodded slowly. He held out the intricately carved wooden bird, its smooth surface cool against his calloused fingers. Lily mirrored his action, her own bird identical in every detail, a testament to a shared past, a legacy of love and loss. The two birds, small symbols of a larger story, seemed to hum with a silent energy, connecting the years that had separated them. He swallowed hard, the lump in his throat refusing to yield. "Lily," he began, his voice still rough, but now laced with a gentle warmth. "It's me, your father. I've been away for a long time." Lily's gaze dropped to the wooden bird in her hand, her fingers tracing the delicate carvings. A single tear escaped, tracing a path through the dust on her cheek. I always knew you'd come back," she whispered, her voice thick with emotion. "Mama always said you would." The mention of his wife, Amelia, sent a fresh wave of grief washing over him. He remembered her laughter, her bright eyes, her love that had been as boundless as the ocean itself. He'd lost her to the sea, a tragedy that had haunted him for years, a wound that time had only partially healed. He gently took Lily's hand, his touch tentative, respectful. Her skin was soft, delicate, yet strong. "Your mother, she was—" he began, but the words failed him. The memories, bittersweet and poignant, threatened to overwhelm him. He squeezed Lily's hand, a silent acknowledgement of their shared loss, their shared grief. Lily, understanding his unspoken sorrow, squeezed his hand back. "I have so many questions, Papa," she said softly, her voice regaining its strength. "About the sea, about everything." He smiled, a weary but genuine smile that reached his kind eyes. "And I have stories to tell you, my dear," he replied, his voice regaining its strength as well. "Stories of faraway lands, of mythical creatures, and of a treasure more valuable than any gold." He settled into a worn armchair by the fireplace, the warmth of the fire chasing away the lingering chill of the sea. Lily sat opposite him, her eyes fixed on his face, her expression a mixture of wonder and anticipation. He began to speak, his voice weaving a tapestry of tales. Tales of treacherous storms weathered with grit and determination, of shimmering coral reefs teeming with vibrant life, of encounters with creatures both wondrous and terrifying. He spoke of the kindness of strangers in far-off ports, of the beauty of sunsets painting the sky in hues of fiery orange and deep violet, and of the unwavering hope that had kept him going throughout his long years at sea. He spoke of the wooden birds, of how he had carved one for her mother, And then, years later, another for her, a silent promise of his return. He described the intricate details, the delicate curves of the wings, the smooth, polished wood, warmed by the sun and kissed by the sea. Lily listened intently, her eyes wide with fascination, her heart filled with a sense of connection to a father she had only known through stories and whispered memories. As the night deepened, the shadows lengthening in the corners of the room, he finally revealed the secret that had driven him across the ocean, the reason for his long absence. He spoke of a hidden message concealed within the intricate carvings of the wooden birds, a message that held the key to a mystery that spanned generations, a mystery that was intricately tied to their family's past, a past shrouded in secrets and half-forgotten legends. He described a hidden map etched into the wood itself, a map leading to a legendary island, an island shrouded in mist and mystery, an island that held the answer to their family's destiny. The island, he explained, was said to be home to a mystical creature, a guardian of ancient secrets, a creature that could unlock the truth about their family's history. The journey would be perilous, he warned, fraught with danger and uncertainty, but the reward, he believed, was worth the risk. Lily, her eyes shining with newfound determination, reached for his hand. "I'm ready, Papa," she declared, her voice filled with a newfound confidence. "I'm ready for our adventure." The aroma of the cooling apple pie hung in the air, a sweet reminder of home, a comforting presence amidst the unfolding mystery. Outside, the sea whispered against the shore, a rhythmic lullaby against the backdrop of their unfolding adventure. The journey home, he realized, was far from over. The true voyage, the quest to unravel the secrets held within the wooden birds, had only just begun. The night was young, the future uncertain, but together, father and daughter, bound by a shared past and a common purpose, were ready to face whatever lay ahead. The wooden birds, symbols of their bond, rested side by side on the table, their outstretched wings seeming to beckon them toward the unknown. The dawn broke, painting the sky in hues of rose and gold, a breathtaking spectacle mirrored in the shimmering surface of the sea. The air, crisp and clean, carried the scent of salt and seaweed, a familiar fragrance that both comforted and invigorated Captain Pegleg. He watched from the cottage window as Lily, her face alight with a mixture of excitement and apprehension, prepared for their journey. She moved with a newfound grace, a confidence that had blossomed overnight, fueled by the shared secrets revealed the previous evening. He watched her pack a small satchel, her movements precise and deliberate, a stark contrast to the restless energy that had pulsed within him throughout the night. He had spent countless nights at sea, battling storms and navigating treacherous currents. But this journey, this quest to uncover the truth about their family's past, felt different. This was a journey of the heart, a voyage into the unknown depths of their shared history. The wooden birds, nestled safely in his pocket, felt warm against his skin, a tangible link to the past, a silent promise of the future. He had meticulously studied the hidden map etched into their smooth surfaces, tracing the intricate lines with his calloused fingertip, committing every detail to memory. The map depicted a series of islands, each marked with a unique symbol, a cryptic language only he and Lily, with their shared heritage, could decipher. Lily emerged from the cottage, her satchel slung over her shoulder, her eyes shining with an unwavering determination. She wore simple, practical clothing, suitable for the journey ahead, Yet there was an elegance about her, a quiet strength that belied her youth. Her hair, the color of spun sunshine, was braided neatly, escaping in playful tendrils that danced in the gentle sea breeze. They set off at sunrise, the cobbled streets of the village still hushed and sleepy. The only sounds were the gentle lapping of the waves against the shore and the distant cries of gulls, a soundtrack to their unfolding adventure. They walked in comfortable silence, each lost in their own thoughts, yet bound together by an unspoken understanding. The familiar sights of their village, the bakery, the fishmonger's stall, the flower shop were imbued with a new significance, each a cherished memory, a piece of their shared past. As they reached the edge of the village, the landscape began to change. The familiar houses gave way to rolling hills, dotted with wildflowers in a riot of colors. The air grew fresher, cleaner, infused with the scent of pine and earth. The path they followed wound its way through a dense forest, the trees tall and ancient, their branches intertwined like gnarled fingers reaching for the sky. Sunlight dappled through the leaves, creating a magical, ethereal atmosphere. The journey was arduous, testing their physical and mental endurance. They climbed steep hills, their breath catching in their throats, and forded shallow streams, their boots sinking into the soft mud. They navigated through thick undergrowth, their hands brushing against leaves and branches, their senses heightened, alert to every rustle and whisper. But through it all, they remained steadfast, their spirits buoyed by their shared purpose, their shared history. As evening approached, they found a sheltered clearing, nestled amongst the trees. A small stream trickled nearby, its water crystal clear, its gentle murmur a soothing balm to their weary souls. Lily gathered dry branches and leaves, and soon a cheerful fire crackled, casting dancing shadows on the surrounding trees. The warmth of the fire chased away the chill of the evening air, providing both physical and emotional comfort. They shared their meager rations, their conversation a blend of reminiscence and anticipation, their laughter echoing through the stillness of the forest. Under the watchful gaze of the stars, Lily shared stories of her childhood, stories of her mother, Amelia, stories that painted a vivid picture of a life lived with love and laughter, a life tragically cut short. Captain Pegleg listened intently, his heart swelling with a mixture of grief and pride. He learned of Lily's resilience, her strength of character, traits that had been nurtured by the memories of her mother and honed by the challenges of life without a father. He, in turn, shared tales of his voyages, weaving stories of faraway lands, of exotic creatures, and of the unwavering hope that had sustained him through years of hardship and loneliness. He spoke of the storms he'd weathered, the friendships he'd forged, and the lessons he'd learned, each story a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit. As the fire died down, leaving only glowing embers, they lay down to sleep, wrapped in the warmth of their shared experience, their shared destiny. The stars twinkled above them, their silent witnesses to the unfolding drama, their gentle light guiding them toward their unknown future. The journey continued, the path still shrouded in mystery, the destination still unseen, but their bond, forged in the crucible of shared loss and newfound hope, remained unshakable. The wooden birds, nestled close to their hearts, served as a constant reminder of their shared past and a promise of the adventure that lay ahead, an adventure that would lead them to a legendary island, an island shrouded in mist and mystery, an island that held the answer to their family's destiny. The night was filled with the whisper of the wind through the trees, the gentle murmur of the stream, and the quiet confidence that together they would face whatever lay ahead. The true voyage had only just begun. The sun, a molten orb rising above the horizon, painted the forest in hues of amber and rose. Dew-kissed leaves shimmered like 1,000 tiny jewels, catching the light and scattering it in a dazzling display. The air, crisp and clean, carried the scent of pine and damp earth, a refreshing contrast to the heavy, salty air of the coast. Lily stretched, her muscles protesting the exertion of the previous day's journey, but her spirit was bright, her eyes sparkling with anticipation. Captain Pegleg, his weathered face etched with the map of 1,000 voyages, watched her with a quiet pride, his heart warmed by her youthful energy. They packed their meager belongings, the silence between them comfortable, filled with the unspoken understanding that bound them together. The wooden birds, nestled safely in his pocket, felt like a comforting weight, a tangible link to their shared past and a beacon guiding them towards their uncertain future. He checked the map again, his calloused finger tracing the intricate lines etched into the wood, a series of islands, each marked with a unique symbol, a cryptic language whispering secrets only they could decipher. The next island, according to the map, was known as Whisperwind Isle, a place shrouded in mist and legend, a place where the wind carried secrets on its breath. The path leading to Whisperwind Isle was less defined, a barely discernible track winding its way through the dense undergrowth. Giant ferns, their fronds unfurling like emerald banners, brushed against their clothes, their dampness clinging to the fabric. The air grew heavy with the scent of decaying leaves and rich, dark soil, a perfume both earthy and slightly unsettling. Sunlight struggled to penetrate the thick canopy, casting the forest floor in a perpetual twilight. Strange sounds echoed through the trees, the rustle of unseen creatures, the creak of ancient branches, the whisper of the wind weaving secrets only the forest understood. As they ventured deeper, the air grew colder, a palpable chill settling upon them, a chilling premonition of the mysteries that lay ahead. A thick mist began to roll in, swirling around them, obscuring the path ahead, muffling the sounds of the forest, creating an atmosphere of both mystery and unease. Visibility diminished to mere yards, the towering trees looming like spectral figures in the swirling gray. Lily, despite her initial apprehension, remained steadfast, her hand resting confidently in her father's. Her youthful courage was a beacon in the encroaching gloom, a testament to the strength forged in the fires of adversity. The mist, thick and clinging, felt like a living entity, wrapping around them, whispering secrets in an unknown tongue. Captain Pegleg, his senses honed by years at sea, navigated the treacherous path, his wooden leg tapping a steady rhythm against the damp earth, a comforting counterpoint to the eerie silence of the mist-shrouded forest. He relied on his instincts, his years of experience guiding him through the labyrinthine paths, his hand never leaving Lily's. Suddenly, a sound pierced the silence, a high-pitched shriek, mournful and chilling, echoing through the mist. Lily gasped, her hand tightening in her father's. Captain Pegleg stopped, his senses alert, his eyes scanning the swirling gray. The sound came again, closer this time, more insistent, more menacing. He felt a prickle of unease, a sense of foreboding settling upon him, a feeling he recognized from countless perilous voyages across the unforgiving ocean. This was not the sound of a friendly creature. He pulled Lily closer, his arm instinctively shielding her from the unseen danger. He whispered instructions, his voice low and reassuring, a calm counterpoint to the rising fear in his heart. They moved slowly, cautiously, their senses heightened, their every step measured and deliberate. The air grew heavy with anticipation, the silence broken only by their hushed breaths and the chilling shrieks that echoed through the mist. The mist seemed to thicken, constricting them, pressing in on them from all sides. The path disappeared completely, swallowed by the swirling gray. They were surrounded, lost in a world of white, the trees looming like ghostly sentinels, their branches reaching out like skeletal fingers. The shrieks intensified, drawing closer, punctuated by the snap of twigs under unseen feet. The air crackled with an unseen energy, a palpable sense of danger hanging heavy in the air. Suddenly, a pair of glowing eyes appeared through the mist, piercing the swirling gray like two burning coals. They were large, luminous, and intensely malevolent. The creature they belonged to remained hidden, its form obscured by the mist, but its presence was undeniable, chilling them to the bone. The shrieks intensified into a blood-curdling scream, followed by a terrifying growl that seemed to shake the very foundations of the forest. The ground trembled beneath their feet. Captain Pegleg, despite his years of experience facing danger, felt a surge of primal fear, a cold dread that pierced through his seasoned composure. He knew instinctively that this was no ordinary creature. This was something ancient, something powerful, something beyond his comprehension. He tightened his grip on Lily's hand, his heart pounding in his chest, a frantic drumbeat against the rising crescendo of terror. The mist swirled, the creature's eyes burning into them, its presence a tangible threat. The battle for survival, he realized, had only just begun. The journey to Whisperwind Isle and the secrets it held had become far more perilous than he had ever imagined. The night was filled with the chilling screams of the unknown, a chilling prelude to the dangers that awaited them in the heart of the mist. Their adventure, it seemed, was far from over. The true danger, the true test of their courage, was only just beginning. The creature's roar echoed through the forest, a sound that seemed to tear the very fabric of the mist. Then silence, a heavy, suffocating silence that pressed down on Captain Pegleg and Lily, amplifying the pounding of their hearts. The glowing eyes vanished, swallowed by the swirling gray, leaving them suspended in a chilling uncertainty. The only sound was the frantic beating of Lily's heart, a rhythm that mirrored his own. He felt for Lily's hand, his fingers finding hers, small and trembling within his own calloused grip. He squeezed gently, offering what little reassurance he could muster in the face of such overwhelming fear. He had faced storms at sea that threatened to swallow his ship whole, but this was different. This was a fear that burrowed deep into the soul, a primal terror that spoke of ancient evils and forgotten magic. Slowly, cautiously, he began to move forward, his wooden leg tapping a steady rhythm against the damp earth, a counterpoint to the silence, a measure of control in the face of the unknown. Lily followed close behind, her small hand clasped tightly in his, her breath coming in short, shallow gasps. The mist remained thick, impenetrable, a suffocating shroud that hid the terrors it concealed. He felt the ground shift beneath his feet, a subtle tremor that sent a shiver down his spine. He stopped, straining his ears, listening for any sound, any clue to their surroundings. The silence was broken only by the whisper of the mist, a sibilant sound that seemed to burrow into his mind, filling his thoughts with a sense of unease. Then he saw it, a faint glimmer through the mist, a pale light that seemed to pierce the swirling gray. He moved towards it, his heart pounding with a mixture of hope and apprehension. As they drew closer, the light grew stronger, revealing a narrow passage through the trees, a break in the dense undergrowth. They emerged from the mist into a small clearing, bathed in the pale light of the moon. The air felt cleaner here, the oppressive weight of the mist lifting, leaving a sense of relief in its wake. They were surrounded by towering trees, their branches intertwined like gnarled fingers, their leaves rustling in the gentle night breeze. The ground was covered in a thick carpet of moss, soft and yielding beneath their feet. A small stream trickled through the clearing, its water crystal clear, reflecting the moonlight like 1,000 tiny stars. The sound of the water was a soothing balm to their frayed nerves, a comforting counterpoint to the lingering terror of the mist. They sat by the stream, their bodies trembling with the aftershocks of fear, their breaths ragged and uneven. Lily leaned against her father, her body shaking with a mixture of exhaustion and relief. He wrapped an arm around her, his touch gentle, reassuring. He felt the warmth of her body against his, a comforting presence in the face of the unknown. He knew that the journey was far from over, that the dangers they had encountered were merely a prelude to the trials that lay ahead. But in this moment, surrounded by the quiet beauty of the clearing, a sense of calm settled over them, a fragile truce in the face of the storm. He looked at the wooden bird in his hand, its smooth surface cool against his calloused fingers. It felt like a talisman, a symbol of hope in the face of despair. He knew that the bird held the key to their destiny, that it would guide them towards the answers they sought. He looked at Lily, her eyes filled with a mixture of fear and determination. He saw in her a strength he hadn't known she possessed, a resilience born of hardship and nurtured by love. They remained by the stream for a long time, the silence broken only by the gentle murmur of the water and the rustling of leaves. The moon climbed higher in the sky, casting long shadows across the clearing. As the first rays of dawn began to paint the sky, they rose, their bodies weary but their spirits unbroken. They knew the journey ahead would be fraught with danger, that the mysteries of Whisperwind Isle held terrors yet unknown. But they also knew that they were not alone. They had each other, their shared history, and the silent promise held within the intricately carved wooden birds. They continued on, following the path that led towards Whisperwind Isle. The forest floor was damp with dew, the air heavy with the scent of pine and damp earth. The trees towered above them, their branches interwoven like a protective canopy. The path was treacherous, winding its way through thick undergrowth, across fallen logs, and over babbling brooks. But they pressed on, their steps measured and deliberate, their senses heightened, their eyes scanning the surroundings for any sign of danger. As they ventured deeper, the forest seemed to change. The trees grew taller, their branches gnarled and twisted, their bark thick and ancient. The undergrowth became denser, more impenetrable, filled with strange and unfamiliar plants. The air grew colder, a palpable chill settling upon them, a chilling premonition of the mysteries that lay ahead. They came to a clearing vast and open, bathed in the ethereal light of the rising sun. In the center of the clearing stood a single, ancient oak tree, its branches reaching towards the sky like gnarled arms, its leaves rustling in the gentle breeze. The tree was enormous, its trunk wider than any they had ever seen, its bark deeply furrowed, its branches heavy with age. At the base of the oak tree, they found a stone altar, its surface worn smooth by the passage of time. On the altar rested a single, smooth stone, its surface polished to a high sheen. The stone was warm to the touch, pulsing with a faint energy that seemed to resonate deep within their bones. As they touched the stone, a vision flooded their minds, a swirling kaleidoscope of images and sensations. They saw a ship sailing on a stormy sea, a woman with eyes like the summer sky, a child with hair the color of spun sunshine, and a hidden island, shrouded in mist and legend, Whisperwind Isle. The vision faded, leaving them breathless, their minds reeling from the intensity of the experience. They knew then that they had found it, the gateway to the secrets held within Whisperwind Isle. But as they stood there, gazing at the ancient oak tree, they heard a sound, a low growl that seemed to emanate from the earth itself. The ground trembled beneath their feet. The air grew heavy with anticipation, the silence pregnant with the promise of danger. The true journey, the true test of their courage, had only just begun. The island, shrouded in mist and mystery, awaited them, and they were ready. The air hung heavy with the scent of damp earth and decaying leaves, a perfume both earthy and unsettling. The ancient oak, its branches reaching skyward like gnarled fingers, seemed to watch them with ancient wisdom. The stone altar, still warm from their touch, pulsed with a faint, almost imperceptible thrum. Lily, her hand resting on her father's, felt a shiver run down her spine, a mixture of excitement and apprehension. Captain Pegleg, his weathered face etched with the map of 1,000 voyages, felt the familiar thrill of adventure mingled with a deep, underlying unease. The growl, low and menacing, had come from the earth itself, a primal sound that spoke of something ancient and powerful slumbering beneath their feet. They circled the ancient oak, their eyes scanning the clearing, searching for any sign of the creature that had made the earth tremble. The sun, now higher in the sky, cast long shadows that danced and writhed like living things. The air, once still, now seemed to vibrate with an unseen energy, a palpable sense of anticipation hanging heavy in the air. The silence, broken only by the rustling of leaves and the distant call of a bird, was more unnerving than any sound. Suddenly, a movement caught Captain Pegleg's eye. A ripple in the moss, a barely perceptible shift in the shadows. He signaled Lily to remain still, his hand instinctively reaching for the hilt of his worn cutlass. He moved slowly, cautiously, his every step measured and deliberate. The moss parted, revealing a narrow opening, a dark fissure in the earth that seemed to yawn like a hungry maw. The opening was barely wide enough for a person to pass through, its edges lined with gnarled roots and clinging vines. A cold draft emanated from within, a chilling breath that whispered of the mysteries held within. Captain Pegleg hesitated for only a moment, his gaze fixed on the dark opening, before taking a deep breath and stepping forward. Lily followed, her hand clasped tightly in his, her eyes wide with a mixture of fear and determination. They descended into the earth, the air growing colder, damper, the scent of earth giving way to a musty odor, a mixture of damp stone and decaying vegetation. The passage was narrow and claustrophobic, the walls slick with moisture. Water dripped from the ceiling, forming small pools on the uneven floor. They navigated the passage slowly, their hands brushing against the cold, damp stones. Their senses heightened, alert to every sound, every movement. The passage twisted and turned, its direction seemingly random, as if deliberately designed to disorient. They walked for what felt like hours, their only light the faint glow of the sun filtering through the narrow opening above. The silence was broken only by the drip, drip, drip of water, a monotonous rhythm that seemed to amplify the tension in the air. Finally, the passage opened into a vast cavern, its dimensions breathtaking. The cavern was lit by a soft, ethereal glow that seemed to emanate from the walls themselves, casting the space in a magical, otherworldly light. Stalactites hung from the ceiling, their tips glistening like crystal, their shadows dancing on the cavern floor. A subterranean lake shimmered in the distance, its surface as smooth as glass, reflecting the ethereal glow of the cavern walls. The air in the cavern was surprisingly warm and dry, a stark contrast to the damp, cold passage they had just traversed. The silence was profound, broken only by the gentle lapping of water against the shore of the subterranean lake. They stood for a moment, awestruck by the beauty and mystery of the cavern, their breath catching in their throats. Then they heard it, a faint whisper, barely audible above the gentle lapping of the water. It seemed to come from the lake itself, a voice soft as the rustling of leaves, yet strangely compelling. The whisper spoke of ancient secrets, of forgotten magic, of a destiny that awaited them. They approached the lake cautiously, their hearts pounding in their chests, their senses heightened, their eyes scanning the still surface of the water. As they drew closer, the whispers grew stronger, more insistent, weaving a tale of their family's history, a history shrouded in mystery and legend. They learned of a powerful artifact, a relic of immense power, hidden on Whisperwind Isle, an artifact that held the key to their family's destiny. The artifact, the whispers revealed, was protected by a guardian, a creature of immense power and ancient wisdom, a creature that would test their courage and their worthiness. The whispers spoke of trials they would have to face, challenges they would have to overcome, before they could claim the artifact and unlock the secrets of their past. The journey, they were told, would be perilous, fraught with danger and uncertainty, but the reward, the whispers promised, would be beyond their wildest dreams. They stood by the lake, the whispers echoing in their ears, their minds reeling from the revelation of their family's hidden history. They knew then that their quest had only just begun, that the true test of their courage and their worthiness was yet to come. They exchanged a look, a silent understanding passing between them. They were ready. The journey to the artifact, the journey to unlock the secrets of Whisperwind Isle, had truly begun. The whispers faded, leaving only the gentle lapping of the water, a comforting counterpoint to the excitement and apprehension that filled their hearts. The cavern, once a place of awe and wonder, now held the promise of adventure, of danger, of destiny. The path ahead was unclear, the challenges unknown, but together, father and daughter, they would face whatever lay before them. Their journey, the true voyage, was far from over. The cavern air, once cool and still, now hummed with a low, resonant thrum. The subterranean lake, previously calm, now rippled with unseen currents, its surface disturbed by something moving beneath. A shadow, vast and indistinct, stretched across the water, growing larger, more defined with each passing moment. Lily gasped, clutching her father's hand, her knuckles white. Captain Pegleg, his weathered face grim, tightened his grip on her hand, his eyes fixed on the approaching shadow. The whispers were gone, replaced by a palpable sense of anticipation, a feeling of impending danger that hung heavy in the air. The shadow solidified, coalescing into a form that defied description. It was vast, serpentine, its body a shifting mass of iridescent scales that shimmered in the ethereal light of the cavern. Its head, when it finally emerged from the depths, was crowned with a diadem of sharp, crystalline horns that glittered like shards of ice. Its eyes, large and luminous, burned with an ancient intelligence, a knowing that chilled them to the bone. This was no ordinary creature. This was a guardian, a protector of ancient secrets, a being whose power was beyond their comprehension. The creature rose from the lake, its massive body uncoiling slowly, its scales reflecting the light in a dazzling display. It moved with a grace that belied its size, its movements fluid and powerful, its every gesture radiating an aura of immense power. It regarded them with ancient eyes, its gaze penetrating, unnerving, its silence more menacing than any roar. The air crackled with unseen energy, the cavern vibrating with the creature's presence. The silence stretched, heavy and suffocating, punctuated only by the gentle lapping of the water against the cavern walls. Lily's hand trembled in her father's, her breath caught in her throat. Captain Pegleg, his heart pounding in his chest, met the creature's gaze unflinchingly. He knew that this was a test, a trial of their courage and their worthiness. He had faced countless dangers at sea, weathered storms that threatened to swallow his ship whole. But this was different. This was a confrontation with something ancient, something powerful, something beyond his understanding. The creature spoke, its voice a resonant hum that seemed to vibrate deep within their bones. The sound was not of this world, a language beyond human comprehension, yet somehow they understood. The creature spoke of the artifact, of its power, of the trials they must face to prove their worthiness. It spoke of challenges that would test their courage, their resilience, their bond as father and daughter. The first trial the creature revealed was a test of their knowledge. The creature presented them with a series of riddles, ancient enigmas that tested their understanding of their family's history, their knowledge of the legends and myths whispered through generations. The riddles were intricate, complex, their answers hidden within the intricate carvings of the wooden birds. Lily and her father worked together, their minds focused, their memories piecing together the fragments of their shared history. They deciphered the clues, their answers revealing a deeper understanding of their family's past, a past shrouded in secrets and half-forgotten legends. The second trial was a test of their physical strength and endurance. They were led through a labyrinthine network of tunnels, their path fraught with dangers, treacherous pitfalls, collapsing tunnels, and unseen creatures that lurked in the shadows. They navigated the labyrinth together, their strength and resilience tested to their limits, their teamwork and trust in each other proving to be their greatest asset. They emerged from the labyrinth, exhausted but triumphant, their bond forged stronger in the crucible of adversity. The final trial was a test of their hearts, a test of their courage and their compassion. They were faced with a moral dilemma, a choice that would test their integrity and their willingness to sacrifice. The choice was difficult, the consequences potentially devastating, But they chose wisely, their decision guided by their love for each other and their commitment to their shared destiny. Having passed the trials, the creature revealed the location of the artifact, a relic of immense power hidden deep within the heart of Whisperwind Isle. It led them through a hidden passage, a secret pathway that wound its way through the heart of the island, its walls adorned with ancient carvings that whispered tales of forgotten magic. The air grew heavy with anticipation, the silence broken only by the rhythmic tapping of Captain Pegleg's wooden leg and the soft whisper of Lily's breath. They emerged into a vast chamber, its dimensions breathtaking. The chamber was circular, its walls lined with shimmering crystals that cast an ethereal glow across the space. In the center of the chamber, resting on a pedestal of polished obsidian, lay the artifact. It was a small, intricately carved box, its surface adorned with symbols that echoed the carvings on the wooden birds. The box pulsed with a faint, almost imperceptible energy, its presence radiating power and mystery. As they approached the box, the air grew charged with energy, the very air vibrating with unseen forces. The creature watched them, its ancient eyes filled with a mixture of curiosity and anticipation. Captain Pegleg reached for the box, his hand trembling slightly, his heart pounding in his chest. He knew that this was the culmination of their journey, the moment that would determine their destiny. He opened the box, and as he did, a blinding light filled the chamber. The blinding light filled the chamber, washing over Captain Pegleg and Lily, momentarily blinding them. When their vision cleared, they saw not a single light, but 1,000 tiny stars, each a pinpoint of pure energy, swirling and dancing within the confines of the obsidian pedestal. The air thrummed with power, a tangible energy that vibrated deep within their bones. The scent of ozone filled the air, sharp and clean, a counterpoint to the musty odor of the cavern. The small, intricately carved box lay open, revealing not treasure, but a collection of shimmering, iridescent feathers. Each feather pulsed with a faint light, its color shifting and changing with every breath, a kaleidoscope of colors that mirrored the swirling stars above the pedestal. They were unlike any feathers they had ever seen, their texture impossibly smooth, their colors impossibly vibrant. They felt warm to the touch, radiating a gentle energy that soothed their souls. As Captain Pegleg reached out to touch one, a voice echoed through the chamber, not from the guardian, but from the feathers themselves. The voice was ancient, wise, and filled with a bittersweet melancholy. It spoke of a long-forgotten love, a love as boundless as the ocean, a love lost to the unforgiving sea. It spoke of a promise made, a promise kept, a legacy that spanned generations. The voice wove a tale of Amelia, the captain's beloved wife, her laughter echoing through the years, her memory as vivid as the colors of the shimmering feathers. It revealed the true nature of the wooden birds, not merely symbols of a father's love, but vessels of Amelia's spirit, her essence imbued within the delicate carvings. The birds, the voice explained, were not just a means to find the artifact. They were a map to her heart, a pathway to understanding the depths of her love. Lily felt a tear trace a path down her cheek, a tear not of sadness, but of understanding, of connection to a mother she had never known. The voice continued, revealing a secret hidden within the feathers themselves, a song, an ancient melody that held the key to unlocking Whisperwind Isle's true power. The song, the voice explained, was a lullaby Amelia used to sing to Lily when she was a babe, a melody woven with magic, a melody that could soothe even the most turbulent of hearts. The captain picked up a feather, its warmth spreading through his hand, a comforting presence in the face of the unknown. He felt a rush of memories, flashes of Amelia's smile, her laughter, her gentle touch. The pain of her loss was sharp, but it was tempered by the sweetness of the memories, the enduring power of their love. He closed his eyes, letting the warmth of the feather soothe his weary soul. Lily, her eyes shining with newfound understanding, reached for another feather. She felt the same warmth, the same comforting energy. She closed her eyes, letting the memories wash over her, connecting her to a mother she had only known through stories. The images that flooded her mind were not just memories, but vivid sensations. The smell of Amelia's perfume, the feel of her soft skin against her own, the sound of her gentle voice. Together, father and daughter, they began to sing the lullaby, their voices soft and hesitant at first, then growing stronger, more confident with each note. The melody was ancient, haunting, yet filled with a sweet, underlying hope. As they sang, the shimmering feathers responded, their light intensifying, their colors growing even more vibrant. The stars above the pedestal swirled faster, their energy increasing, their light illuminating the chamber in a breathtaking display. The chamber began to vibrate, the walls shimmering with energy, the very air crackling with power. The guardian, its serpentine body coiled, watched them with ancient, knowing eyes. Its gaze was not menacing now, but filled with a sense of wonder, of respect. The creature seemed to understand the power of the song, the power of the love it represented. As the song reached its crescendo, a blinding light erupted from the feathers, filling the chamber with an intense, yet comforting warmth. The light pulsed, expanded, and then, with a soft sigh, it coalesced into a form. A shimmering figure, ethereal and beautiful. Her eyes as bright as the summer sky, her hair the color of spun sunshine. Amelia. She stood before them, her presence radiating love and peace. She smiled, a radiant smile that reached her kind eyes, a smile that erased the years of separation, the pain of loss. She spoke, her voice as sweet as the chimes of distant bells, a voice that filled the cavern with a comforting warmth. She spoke of her love for the captain, her pride in Lily, her sorrow at her untimely death, and her joy at their reunion. She explained the true nature of the artifact, not a source of power, but a vessel of her love, a way to connect with her daughter, a testament to the enduring power of their bond. The shimmering figure began to fade, her form dissolving into 1,000 tiny sparks of light that danced and twirled before settling gently upon the feathers, imbuing them with a renewed energy, a renewed power. As the last spark of light vanished, a profound silence settled over the cavern, a silence filled with a sense of peace and understanding. The captain and Lily stood there, their hearts overflowing with emotion, their souls filled with a newfound understanding. They had not just found an artifact. They had found a piece of their past, a connection to their family's history, a testament to the power of love that transcended time and death. They understood now the true meaning of the journey, the true significance of the wooden birds, the real treasure they had discovered. But as they turned to leave the cavern, a low growl echoed through the tunnels, a sound that hinted at a new adventure, a new challenge. The journey home, the true voyage of discovery, was far from over. The whispers of Whisperwind had only just begun to tell their story. The cool, damp air of the cavern clung to them as they ascended, the rhythmic drip of water a constant counterpoint to the echoing silence. The passage, once claustrophobic, now felt strangely comforting, a familiar path leading them back to the light. Lily, her hands still clasped in her father's, walked with a newfound lightness, her steps sure and steady, the weight of years of uncertainty lifted from her shoulders. Captain Pegleg, his wooden leg tapping a steady rhythm against the stone, felt a profound sense of peace settle over him, a calm that had been absent for far too long. The memory of Amelia's ethereal form, her radiant smile, her loving gaze, was a beacon guiding them towards the surface. Emerging into the clearing, the sunlight felt warm and welcome on their faces, the scent of pine and damp earth a refreshing contrast to the musty odor of the cavern. The ancient oak, its branches reaching towards the heavens, seemed to stand guard, its silent presence a testament to the passage of time, the endurance of nature. The stone altar, now cool to the touch, held no further secrets, its purpose fulfilled. They paused for a moment, taking a deep breath of the crisp morning air, the sounds of the forest a gentle symphony after the profound silence of the cavern. The path leading back to the village seemed shorter, the journey less arduous. Each familiar sight, the towering ferns, the rustling leaves, the dappled sunlight filtering through the trees, was imbued with a new significance, a reminder of their shared experience, their shared triumph. They walked in comfortable silence, their hearts filled with a quiet joy, their steps lighter, their spirits renewed. As they approached the edge of the forest, the familiar sounds of the village, the distant cries of gulls, the gentle lapping of waves against the shore were a welcome sound. They emerged from the trees, blinking in the bright sunlight, the cobbled streets of their seaside village a comforting sight. The bakery, its tantalizing aroma of freshly baked bread wafting through the air. The fishmonger's stall, overflowing with the day's catch, and the little flower shop, a riot of color against the gray stone houses. Each was a familiar landmark, a cherished memory, a piece of their shared past. Reaching their cottage, the smoke curling lazily from the chimney was a promise of warmth, of home-cooked comfort. The creaky wooden door, once a symbol of apprehension, now opened with a familiar groan, welcoming them back. The air inside was thick with the comforting scent of wood smoke and something sweet, perhaps apple pie, a familiar aroma that now held a deeper significance, a reminder of their renewed family bond. They sat by the fireplace, the warmth of the fire chasing away the lingering chill of the forest. The wooden birds, nestled safely on the table, seemed to hum with a silent energy, their outstretched wings a symbol of their shared journey, their shared triumph. The feathers, resting gently in a small, leather-bound box, radiated a soft, comforting glow, their shimmering colors a testament to Amelia's enduring love. Lily, her eyes shining with a newfound confidence, recounted the events in the cavern, her voice filled with wonder and awe. She described the guardian, its serpentine form, its ancient wisdom, its challenging trials. She spoke of the riddles, the labyrinth, the moral dilemma, each a testament to their resilience, their teamwork, their unwavering love for one another. Captain Pegleg listened intently, his heart swelling with pride, his weathered face softened by a genuine smile. He, in turn, shared his reflections on their adventure, his voice filled with a quiet gratitude. He spoke of the rediscovery of Amelia's love, the strength of their bond as father and daughter, the enduring power of their shared memories. He spoke of the feathers, their magical properties, their ability to transport them back to Amelia, to the heart of their family's history. He spoke of the song, the lullaby, its power to soothe and heal, its ability to connect them to a past they had almost lost. As the night deepened, the shadows lengthening in the corners of the room, they discussed the future, their plans uncertain, yet their spirits high. They knew that the whispers of Whisperwind had only just begun, that their journey of discovery was far from over. The island, once a place of myth and legend, now held a special significance, a connection to their past, a promise of future adventures. The feathers, they decided, would remain a cherished keepsake, a tangible reminder of Amelia's love, a symbol of their enduring bond. The next morning dawned bright and clear, the sea a shimmering expanse of blue under the clear sky. The village awoke to a new day, its familiar sights and sounds now imbued with a deeper meaning, a sense of peace and renewal. Captain Pegleg, his wooden leg tapping a steady rhythm against the cobbled streets, felt a renewed sense of purpose, a renewed energy. He looked at Lily, her face alight with a newfound confidence, her eyes shining with a radiant hope. Their journey home, the true voyage, was far from over. The sea, once a symbol of loss and separation, now held the promise of adventure, of discovery, of a future filled with love, understanding, and the enduring power of family. They decided to share their tale with the villagers, their story a testament to the enduring power of love, the resilience of the human spirit, and the mysteries that lie hidden beneath the surface of the everyday world. They spoke of the Guardian, its wisdom, its trials, its ancient knowledge, captivating the villagers with their tales of adventure, of danger, of triumph. They spoke of Amelia, her love, her laughter, her enduring presence in their lives. They sang the lullaby, its haunting melody filling the village square, its magic weaving its way into the hearts of the listeners. As the sun set, casting a fiery glow over the sea, they sat on the cliff overlooking the ocean, the wooden birds resting gently in their hands. They watched the waves crash against the shore, their rhythmic sound a comforting lullaby. The sea whispered secrets, its voice a timeless melody, its mysteries as boundless as the horizon. They knew that their journey was far from over, that new adventures lay ahead, new challenges to face, new mysteries to unravel. But they also knew that they were ready. They had each other, their shared history, their enduring love, and the whispers of Whisperwind Isle to guide them. The true voyage, they realized, had only just begun. The next chapter, however, awaited them in a place none of them could have foreseen, a place whispered on the wind, a place of shadows and secrets, a place known only as the Obsidian Coast. The salty air, sharp and clean, carried the scent of brine and distant wood smoke. The Obsidian Coast. The name itself whispered secrets, a chilling promise on the wind. Captain Pegleg and Lily stood at the edge of the familiar seaside village, the comforting sounds of their home now a fading memory behind them. Before them lay a vast, dark expanse of ocean, the waves crashing against the jagged rocks with a ferocity that mirrored the uncertainty in their hearts. The sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of fiery orange and deep violet, a breathtaking spectacle that did little to ease the apprehension that hung heavy in the air. Lily, her hand resting on her father's, felt a shiver run down her spine. The Obsidian Coast was a place spoken of in hushed whispers, a place of shadows and secrets, a place where the line between reality and myth blurred. Legend spoke of a hidden city, swallowed by the sea centuries ago, a city guarded by ancient beings, its secrets protected by powerful magic. The journey, they knew, would be perilous, fraught with danger and uncertainty. But the whispers of Whisper Wind had hinted at a greater mystery, a deeper connection to their family's past. Captain Pegleg, his weathered face etched with the map of 1,000 voyages, felt the familiar thrill of adventure mingled with a profound sense of unease. He had faced countless dangers at sea, weathered storms that threatened to swallow his ship whole, but the Obsidian Coast felt different. This was a journey into the unknown, a voyage into the heart of darkness itself. He looked at Lily, her eyes shining with a mixture of fear and determination, her youthful courage a beacon in the encroaching gloom. He knew instinctively that they were ready. They set sail at dawn, the small fishing boat, the Wanderer, a familiar friend cutting through the waves. The sea was calm at first, its surface a mirror reflecting the clear sky, but as they ventured further, the waters grew rougher, the waves rising, the wind picking up. The Obsidian Coast was drawing them closer, its presence felt in the chill wind, the darkening clouds, the ominous silence that settled over the sea. The journey was arduous, the waves testing the strength of the small boat, the wind buffeting them mercilessly. They battled against the elements, their determination fueled by the whispers of the coast, the promise of discovery, the hope of unlocking their family's hidden history. Lily, her hands calloused from gripping the ropes, her face tanned by the sun, worked tirelessly alongside her father, her youthful energy a counterpoint to his seasoned experience. They navigated treacherous currents, avoided hidden reefs, and weathered sudden squalls, their teamwork and trust in each other proving to be their greatest asset. As darkness fell, the Obsidian Coast loomed before them, its jagged cliffs rising from the sea like the teeth of some monstrous beast. The air grew heavy with mist, a chilling shroud that obscured the land, muffling the sounds of the sea, creating an atmosphere of both mystery and unease. The waves crashed against the rocks with a deafening roar, their fury a chilling prelude to the dangers that awaited them. They found a sheltered cove, a small pocket of calm amidst the raging storm. The boat, battered but afloat, rested gently against the rocks, its wooden hull groaning under the strain. Lily, exhausted but unbroken, helped her father secure the boat, their movements precise and deliberate, their teamwork seamless and efficient. They shared their meager rations, their conversation a blend of reminiscence and anticipation, their laughter echoing through the stillness of the night. Under the watchful gaze of the stars, Lily shared stories of her dreams, of a hidden city shimmering beneath the waves, its streets paved with gold, its buildings adorned with shimmering crystals. Captain Pegleg listened intently, his heart swelling with a mixture of pride and wonder. He knew that the legends were not merely stories. They held a grain of truth, a spark of reality that resonated deep within his soul. He, in turn, shared tales of his voyages, of encounters with strange and wondrous creatures, of the beauty and brutality of the sea. He spoke of the unwavering hope that had sustained him through years of hardship and loneliness, of the enduring power of the human spirit. He spoke of the feathers, their magical properties, their ability to connect them to Amelia, to the heart of their family's history. He spoke of the song, the lullaby, its power to soothe and heal, its ability to guide them through the darkness. As the night deepened, a strange light flickered on the horizon, a faint glow that pierced the mist, a beacon in the encroaching darkness. It pulsed rhythmically, its intensity growing with each passing moment. It seemed to beckon them, to draw them towards it, its light a promise of both danger and discovery. They knew instinctively that this was their next challenge, their next step into the heart of the mystery. They set off towards the light, the mist clinging to them like a shroud, the darkness pressing in on them from all sides. The air grew cold, the wind whipping around them, the waves crashing against the rocks with a deafening roar. They navigated the treacherous coastline, their steps measured and deliberate, their senses heightened, their eyes scanning the surroundings for any sign of danger. The light drew them closer, its intensity growing, revealing the outline of a structure emerging from the mist, a colossal archway, its stones dark and ancient, its surface worn smooth by the passage of time. It stood at the edge of the sea, its silhouette stark against the stormy sky. The archway was immense, its height defying comprehension, its darkness hinting at the secrets it concealed. As they approached, they heard a sound, a low hum that seemed to emanate from the stones themselves, a resonant thrum that vibrated deep within their bones. The hum grew stronger, more insistent, as they passed beneath the archway, entering a world shrouded in shadow, a world where the air felt heavy, the darkness profound. The light that had beckoned them was gone, replaced by a deep, oppressive blackness that seemed to swallow the very light from their eyes. They found themselves in a narrow passage, its walls lined with smooth, dark stones, its floor slick with moisture. The air was thick with the scent of salt and something else, something ancient, something primal, something that filled their nostrils with a sense of unease. The passage twisted and turned, its direction seemingly random, as if deliberately designed to disorient. They walked for what felt like hours, their only light the faint glow of their lantern, its flickering flame casting dancing shadows on the walls. The silence was broken only by the rhythmic tapping of Captain Pegleg's wooden leg and the soft whisper of Lily's breath. They felt a presence, a watchful gaze, sensing that they were not alone in the darkness, that they were being observed, watched, judged. Suddenly, they heard a sound, a soft whisper, barely audible, yet strangely compelling. It seemed to come from the darkness itself, a voice as soft as the rustling of leaves, yet filled with an ancient wisdom, a knowing that chilled them to the bone. The whisper spoke of trials, of challenges, of a destiny that awaited them in the heart of the Obsidian Coast. The whispers were just beginning, and the true journey, they realized, had only just begun. The next step into the darkness was a leap of faith, a step into the unknown, a journey to a place where even the bravest hearts tremble. The Obsidian Coast held its breath. The whisper, faint at first, grew stronger, weaving a tale of the lost city of Ys, swallowed by the sea centuries ago. It spoke of its shimmering towers, its streets paved with gold, its inhabitants gifted with magic and unmatched artistry. It spoke of a powerful artifact, a relic of immense power, hidden deep within the city's heart, a sunstone, said to hold the very essence of the sun's energy. The whisper described trials they must face, challenges that would test their courage, their resilience, their bond as father and daughter. It spoke of guardians, ancient beings who protected the sunstone, beings whose power was beyond human comprehension. The passage opened into a vast cavern, its walls lined with shimmering crystals, their surfaces reflecting the faint glow of their lantern. The air was heavy with the scent of salt and ozone, a peculiar mixture that filled their nostrils with both wonder and unease. The cavern was immense, its dimensions seemingly endless, its silence profound, broken only by the rhythmic tapping of Captain Pegleg's wooden leg and the soft whisper of Lily's breath. As they ventured deeper, the cavern floor sloped downwards, leading them towards a subterranean lake, its surface as smooth as glass, its depths obscured by the darkness. The air grew colder, a palpable chill settling upon them, a chilling premonition of the dangers that lay ahead. The whispers continued, guiding them, their words weaving a path through the darkness, their ancient wisdom illuminating their way. The whispers spoke of the first trial, a test of their ingenuity. They were presented with a series of intricate puzzles, their solutions hidden within the ancient carvings that adorned the cavern walls. The puzzles were complex, their logic both intricate and baffling, but Captain Pegleg, his mind sharp despite his years, and Lily, her youthful mind quick and agile, worked together, their combined knowledge and intuition proving to be their greatest asset. They solved the puzzles, their success unlocking a hidden passage, a narrow opening in the cavern wall. The passage led them to a vast chamber, its walls adorned with intricate mosaics, their colors vibrant despite the passage of time. The mosaics depicted scenes from the city of YS, its bustling streets, its magnificent buildings, its inhabitants engaged in their daily lives. The chamber was circular, its center dominated by a massive, obsidian pool, its surface still and dark, its depths unfathomable. The whispers spoke of the second trial, a test of their courage. They were to cross the obsidian pool, its depths concealing unknown dangers, its surface seemingly solid, yet treacherous. Captain Pegleg, his years at sea honing his instincts, and Lily, her youthful agility and bravery exceeding expectation, carefully approached the pool. The obsidian surface was deceptively smooth, its texture cold and slick beneath their fingertips. They stepped onto the pool cautiously, their weight testing the surface, their senses alert to any sign of instability. The pool held its breath, testing them, pushing them to their limits, their fear and doubt rising to the surface like bubbles. They walked across the pool, their steps measured and deliberate, their hearts pounding in their chests. The darkness beneath the surface seemed to press in on them, the silence amplifying their fears. But their hands remained clasped together, their bond a lifeline in the face of the unknown. The obsidian pool, a test of their courage, their strength, their trust in each other, yielded to their determined steps, their unwavering resolve. They reached the other side, their bodies trembling with relief, their hearts pounding with the thrill of victory. The whispers continued, their words guiding them forward, their ancient wisdom illuminating their path. They found themselves in another chamber, its walls lined with towering shelves, each stacked with ancient scrolls, their pages brittle with age, their text written in a language long forgotten. The whispers spoke of the third trial, a test of their knowledge. They were to decipher the scrolls, to unlock their secrets, to discover the location of the Sunstone. The scrolls were filled with cryptic symbols, their meanings hidden within layers of ancient lore and forgotten magic. Captain Pegleg, his mind sharp and his memories keen, and Lily, her intuition sharp and her ability to connect the dots surpassing even her father's, worked together, their combined intellect piecing together the fragments of knowledge, their understanding growing with each deciphered symbol. The language was archaic, the script challenging, but they persevered, their dedication unwavering, their determination fueled by their shared quest. They deciphered the scrolls, their success revealing the location of the Sunstone, a hidden chamber deep within the heart of the lost city of YS. The chamber, the scrolls revealed, was guarded by a powerful guardian, a being whose power was beyond human comprehension, a being that would test their worthiness, their courage, their very souls. The whispers faded, leaving only the rhythmic tapping of Captain Pegleg's wooden leg and the soft whisper of Lily's breath, the silence broken only by the faint drip of water echoing through the cavern. They prepared themselves for the final trial, the final confrontation. They sharpened their wits, their courage, their determination. They clasped their hands, their bond a lifeline in the face of the unknown. They took a deep breath, their hearts pounding in their chests, their eyes fixed on the hidden chamber, the entrance barely visible in the dim light of their lantern, the darkness within seemingly endless, the secrets it held both terrifying and alluring. The journey into the heart of the lost city of YS, the final confrontation with the guardian of the Sunstone, the ultimate test of their courage and their worthiness. It was only just beginning. The Obsidian Coast held its breath, the whispers of the city waiting to be heard. The air hung heavy with anticipation, the silence pregnant with the promise of both danger and discovery. The next step, they knew, was a leap of faith, a step into the unknown, a voyage into the heart of darkness itself. And they were ready. The air hung heavy with the scent of brine and ozone, a peculiar perfume that clung to the damp stones of the passage. Their lantern cast long, dancing shadows on the walls, the flickering flame a fragile beacon in the oppressive darkness. Each step echoed through the silent chamber, the rhythmic tapping of Captain Pegleg's wooden leg a counterpoint to the pounding of their hearts. Lily, her hand clasped tightly in her father's, felt a tremor run down her spine, a mixture of excitement and apprehension. Captain Pegleg, his weathered face grim, felt the familiar thrill of adventure mingling with a deep, underlying unease. They were nearing the heart of the lost city of YS, the final trial, the ultimate confrontation. The passage opened into a vast chamber, its dimensions breathtaking. The air grew warmer, the scent of salt giving way to a subtle sweetness, a fragrance that hinted at something ancient, something magical. The chamber was circular, its walls lined with shimmering crystals that cast an ethereal glow across the space, creating an otherworldly atmosphere. The light danced and shimmered, creating an illusion of movement, of depth, of hidden secrets. In the center of the chamber, bathed in the ethereal glow of the crystals, stood a massive, obsidian altar. Upon the altar, resting on a bed of shimmering silk, lay the Sunstone. The Sunstone was unlike anything they had ever seen. It was a sphere of pure energy, its surface radiating a warm, golden light, its aura pulsating with a gentle thrum. The stone seemed to breathe, to pulse with life, its power palpable, its energy overwhelming. It shimmered and shone, its surface reflecting the light of the crystals, creating a dazzling display of color and light. They were mesmerized, drawn to its beauty, its power, its mystery. As they approached the altar, a low growl echoed through the chamber, a sound that seemed to emanate from the very stones themselves. The ground trembled beneath their feet, the air growing heavy with anticipation, the silence pregnant with the promise of danger. A figure emerged from the shadows, its form slowly coalescing from the darkness, its presence filling the chamber with an aura of immense power. The guardian stood before them, its form both terrifying and majestic. It was a colossal being, its body formed of shadow and starlight, its eyes burning with an ancient intelligence. Its limbs were long and sinuous, its movements fluid and powerful, its every gesture radiating an aura of immense power. It was a being of myth and legend, a creature of immense power and ancient wisdom, a protector of the Sunstone. The guardian spoke, its voice a resonant hum that seemed to vibrate deep within their bones. The language was beyond human comprehension, yet somehow they understood. The guardian spoke of trials, of challenges, of a test of their worthiness. It spoke of a battle of wits, a contest of courage, a trial of their very souls. The first trial was a test of their memories. The guardian presented them with a series of images, fleeting glimpses of their past, moments of joy, of sorrow, of love, of loss. They had to identify the images, to recall the details, to piece together the fragments of their shared history. Captain Pegleg and Lily worked together, their memories merging, their minds focused, their hearts united. They recalled events from their past, their shared history intertwining with the events of their present adventure. The second trial was a test of their strength. The guardian challenged them to a physical contest, a battle of wills, a test of their endurance. They wrestled with the guardian, their bodies straining, their muscles burning, their determination unwavering. The battle raged, the guardian's power immense, its strength formidable. But Captain Pegleg and Lily fought back, their combined strength proving to be their greatest asset. Their resilience, their will to survive, their bond as father and daughter, proved stronger than the guardian's might. The third trial was a test of their hearts. The guardian presented them with a moral dilemma, a choice that would test their integrity, their compassion, their very souls. The choice was difficult, the consequences potentially devastating, but they chose wisely, their decision guided by their love for each other and their unwavering commitment to their shared destiny. They chose compassion over vengeance, empathy over aggression, love over fear. Having passed the trials, the guardian revealed the true nature of the Sunstone, not a source of power, but a vessel of light, a beacon of hope. It spoke of the city of YS, its history, its magic, its fall. It spoke of the Sunstone's ability to heal, to restore, to bring light to the darkness. It spoke of the power of love, the strength of family, the endurance of the human spirit. The guardian then revealed a hidden message etched within the Sunstone surface, a message that held the key to their future, a message that pointed towards a new adventure, a new journey, a new chapter in their story. The message spoke of a place called Ethelgard, a land shrouded in mist and legend, a land that held the answer to a greater mystery, a mystery that was intricately tied to their family's destiny. Ethelgard. The name itself whispered secrets, a chilling promise on the wind. Their journey, they knew, was far from over. The Obsidian Coast had yielded its secrets, but the whispers of Ethelgard beckoned them forward, towards a new adventure, a new challenge, a new destiny. The true voyage, the true quest, the true adventure had only just begun. The next chapter waited, hidden beyond the mists of Ethelgard. The journey continued. They emerged from the cavern, The sunstone nestled safely in a pouch secured to Captain Pegleg's belt. The air felt lighter, cleaner, the oppressive weight of the obsidian coast lifting from their shoulders. The colossal archway, once a gateway to darkness, now stood as a testament to their triumph. The rhythmic crash of waves against the rocks was a soothing counterpoint to the echoing silence of the cavern they'd left behind. The mist, once a chilling shroud, now seemed to part before them, revealing a path back to their small boat, the Wanderer. The journey back to their seaside village was fraught with challenges, but they faced them with renewed confidence, their hearts filled with a quiet joy. The storms they weathered were less daunting, the waves less threatening. The very air seemed to cooperate, the wind a gentle breeze at their backs. They reached their cottage as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of fiery orange and deep violet. The familiar scent of wood smoke and apple pie welcomed them home. They shared their story with the villagers, their tale of the lost city of Ys, the Sunstone, and the Guardian captivating their audience. The villagers listened with rapt attention, their faces reflecting a mixture of wonder and awe. They spoke of the power of love, the resilience of the human spirit, and the enduring strength of family. The Sunstone, they decided, would be placed in the village museum, a testament to their adventure, a symbol of hope, a beacon of light. The mention of Ethelgard, however, sparked a new wave of curiosity. Legends of this mystical land were scarce, its location shrouded in even more mystery than Ys. Yet, the message etched within the Sunstone hinted at a greater destiny, a deeper connection to their family's past. Captain Pegleg and Lily knew that their journey was far from over. The whispers of Ethelgard beckoned them towards a new adventure. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. They spent their time preparing for their journey to Ethelgard, gathering supplies, charting courses, and studying ancient texts. The Sunstone, radiating a gentle warmth, rested on their hearth, a beacon of hope in the quiet evenings. The wooden birds, symbols of their enduring bond, sat beside it, their outstretched wings seeming to beckon them towards the unknown. Their departure for Ethelgard was less dramatic than their journey to the Obsidian Coast. There were no raging storms, no menacing creatures, no chilling whispers. It was a calm, peaceful morning, the sea a mirror reflecting the clear sky. The Wanderer, their trusty vessel, sliced through the tranquil waters, carrying them towards a new adventure, a new chapter in their lives. The journey to Ethelgard was long and arduous, fraught with challenges, but it was also filled with wonder and discovery. They encountered friendly seafarers, navigated treacherous currents, and weathered unexpected storms. They learned to rely on each other even more, their bond strengthened by the shared experiences, their trust unwavering. Ethelgard proved to be a land of breathtaking beauty and ancient magic. They explored lush forests, climbed towering mountains, and navigated winding rivers. They discovered hidden villages, met kind people, and learned of ancient traditions and forgotten customs. They deciphered cryptic clues, solved intricate puzzles, and faced unexpected challenges. The greatest challenge came in the form of a mystical maze, its paths shifting and changing, its illusions designed to disorient and confuse. They navigated the maze together, their combined knowledge, intuition, and trust guiding them through its twisting passages. They emerged from the maze into a clearing, bathed in the ethereal light of the setting sun. In the center of the clearing stood a magnificent tree, its branches reaching towards the sky like outstretched arms. At the base of the tree, they found a hidden chamber, its entrance concealed behind a waterfall. The chamber held the answer to their family's history, a revelation that brought both joy and sorrow. They learned of their ancestors, their courage, their wisdom, their sacrifices. They learned of the true meaning of the sunstone, not merely a vessel of light, but a symbol of their family's legacy, a beacon guiding them towards a future filled with hope. The journey back to their seaside village was filled with a quiet sense of peace. The sea was calm, the wind gentle, the sky clear. They arrived home as the sun rose, painting the sky in hues of rose and gold. The villagers welcomed them with open arms, their hearts filled with joy at their safe return. And so, Captain Pegleg and Lily settled into their lives, their hearts filled with a quiet contentment. The whispers of Whisperwind Isle and the Obsidian Coast were now cherished memories, tales they shared with their children and grandchildren. The sunstone remained a symbol of their family's legacy, a testament to the enduring power of love, courage, and family. Their journey was far from over, but they knew that they were ready for whatever the future held. Winding down outro. Now, little one, the story is done. The waves of my voice have carried you gently to the shore of sleep. The salty air of the ocean has faded, replaced by the sweet scent of lavender and dreams. Feel the soft warmth of your blankets enveloping you like a gentle hug. Let the rhythmic beat of your heart lull you into a peaceful slumber. Imagine yourself nestled in a cozy cove, the waves softly lapping against the shore, their gentle murmur a soothing lullaby. The stars twinkle above you, their distant light painting silver streaks across your ceiling. The moon, a silvery disk in the night sky, watches over you, its gentle glow a comforting presence. Let the images of the story dance in your mind, the shimmering feathers, the ethereal glow of the sunstone, the ancient wisdom of the guardian. Feel the warmth of the fire crackling in the hearth, the comforting scent of apple pie filling the air. Let the gentle sounds of the night, the whisper of the wind, the chirp of crickets, the distant howl of an owl lull you into a state of deep relaxation. Feel the soft weight of your eyelids growing heavy, your body sinking into the comfort of your bed. Let your breath slow and deepen, your muscles relax and unwind. Let go of any worries, any anxieties, any tensions. Let them drift away on the gentle breeze, carried out to sea on the waves of slumber. Imagine the wooden birds, their outstretched wings guiding you towards a peaceful and restful sleep. Feel the warmth of your father's or mother's love enveloping you, protecting you, comforting you. Let their love be a beacon of light, guiding you through the darkness of night towards the dawn of a new day. The ocean whispers its secrets to the shore. The stars twinkle their silent songs. The moon watches over you with its gentle gaze. Let the tranquility of the night wash over you, calming your mind, soothing your soul, preparing you for the restorative slumber that awaits you. Your body is heavy, your mind is quiet, your spirit is at peace. Let the waves of sleep wash over you, carrying you gently into the embrace of slumber. Drift away, little one, drift away on the gentle breeze towards the land of dreams. Sleep soundly, sleep peacefully, sleep sweetly. Good night.